Any better? Got it. That's 1, 2, any better? Okay, got it, thank you. Tonight we have ladies from Boston Falls and some other folks to talk to us about some of the issues, and I don't know if anybody else has issues, but I know Niagara Falls and Niagara County has problems with feral cats. And I can say firsthand, I'm one of the people who have numerous cats that I did not buy, purchase, they moved in. So ladies, if you would like to speak about some of the issues, and tell us about what's going on in Niagara County and what we can do to help.
All right. My name's Nicole, and I'm from Falls.
Bring that a little closer to you so everybody can hear you there.
Okay. My name's Nicole, and I'm with Paws in the Falls. This is Denise, and this is Kara. We're going to be talking a little bit about trap, neuter, vaccinate, and release of our cat colonies here within the Niagara County area. And as you pull up our entire
Which one is it?
that one right there. Alright, you can go ahead to the next slide. Alright, so exactly what is TNVR is basically we're trapping community cats in a humane manner. We spay, we neuter, we vaccinate for rabies, we also vaccinate for distemper. We do an ear tipping while they're under general anesthesia. This just allows the community to know that this animal has already been through a procedure for sterilization. Then we return that animal once it's completely rehabilitated after surgery back out to the original colony. Next slide, please. So this is considered the most effective way to manage the feral cat population while improving the quality of the life of the cat. Next slide, please. So some statistics. Next slide. So kitten season is right around the corner. It goes from March to October, and kittens themselves can be in heat as early as 4 months. So they are able to reproduce 4 months old. 4 months old. They also have heat cycles every 2 weeks, which makes them more fertile. After pregnancy, they can also be repregnated within 2 weeks after having a litter. Most litters are anywhere from 3 to 6, and some cats can have up to 19 kittens in a litter. Next slide, please. So this is kind of interesting. This is an example of what one cat can produce. So one cat who's bred can produce up to 420,000 offspring in just a little of 7 years. So one cat can have 3 to 6, up to 19 in the first litter. Think about those little kittens in 4 months have the capability to reproduce again. The cycle goes on and on and on. Next slide, please. So some of the diseases that we are concerned about with the feral cat colony. Next slide, please. So rabies. Rabies, everybody knows about rabies. Dogs get it, cats get it, ferrets. All of these 3 need to be vaccinated against it to prevent bites to humans. And as most recently in 2016, according to the Niagara Gazette, there was a Wheatfield woman that was attacked by a rabid cat. So another disease that we want to be aware of is the toxoplasmosis. It's a parasite that's found in the cat feces. And it's contagious to both humans, and other animals, and especially those women who are pregnant. It can cause reproductive issues. The other one is Bartonellosis. It's a cat scratch fever. This affects both cats and humans as well, and it can be contracted by licking, sneezing at the cat, if a cat spits at you, and of course biting. Another disease that we need to be concerned with is the FIV-FELV. This is only for cats. So this is an immune deficiency disease, and it can be fatal. And to let you know that this disease is very prevalent in Niagara County. So when we say that we vaccinate these cats, we are testing for FIV-FELV by a small blood test to find out if these animals are contagious or not, or actually have the antigen. We also are vaccinating for rabies and distemper. Next slide, please. So some of the benefits. Why do we want to control the cat population? It's population management. As you saw in the previous slides, that one single cat can produce over 420,000 cats. We are trying to control the population. We also are improving the cat health by vaccinating these animals as well, prevent disease transmission to us and disease transmission to the colony. We're reducing the nuisance behaviors. When a cat goes in heat, all you hear at night is the screams coming from the field or wherever. That will cut down those type of behaviors. Also, by doing this, it reduces shelter intake. If someone finds a cat, they don't know it's feral, or they just bring in a cat to the shelter. Once that cat is assessed, if it cannot be adopted out, it's euthanized. So why not do what's best for the animal? Get it, trap it, spay, neuter, vaccinate, and return it back out to the colony. When it's returned out to the colony, less chance, obviously, of reproducing and causing any other issues. Next slide, please. So where do we begin? Obviously, there's going to be some funding that's going to be needed for this to be a successful program. So we are urgently in need of financial support, such from grants, donations, and obviously from the town of Beechfield. This will just cover the cost of the vaccines, the sterilization, the food, the medication, the recovery space, and other necessary supplies. Without the help, we can't continue our mission to control the feral cat population and improve the health of the well-being. So the recovery space, we are a space that can provide a safe and comfortable place for recovery for the critical cats while they recuperate from surgery. These designated areas ensure that cats have proper care and monitoring during their recovery period before they are returned out to the original environment. We as a facility are committed to the offering of these recovery spaces to guarantee the well-being and the health of the cats in our care. Vaccinating feral cats is essential for protecting them from various diseases, such as the rabies and the distemper that I already spoke about. So administering these during the trap, neuter, release, vaccinate only helps improve the lifespan of the cat and reduces the transmission of other diseases. By sterilization, by spaying and neuter, this is an effective way to prevent and control the pet population. Ear tipping, I explained that once you see a cat that has the tipped ear, you know that they are already sterile. There's no need to track.
What's the tip here? Is it color or?
No, a tipped ear is where they actually snip the tip of their ear off. And they do that while they're under anesthesia, so they don't feel it, but they do come home with a medication. It's the most humane way to ensure that they don't go back under anesthesia. Because then, if an animal goes under anesthesia too many times, then there becomes medical Also, food, so we're gonna have to be able to provide food for all of the animals that will be in our care, making sure that they have a well-balanced, nourished meal, before they are returned out to their colonies. Medications, I talked about medications. When they do come to the facility after their spay neuters, they do come with pain medications, that would have to be administered either once daily or twice daily. We also have on staff licensed veterinary technician, which is myself, to ensure that the animals are looked after and all of the medical files are filed correctly. And I work with our own DVM doctor, who will oversee all of the medications and all of the procedures.
And the reason we wanted to start this because all the facilities that you see that do the clinics, they stop in the winter. So come spring, we're loaded with even more kittens. Where us having this facility, they can recover 5, 7 days, depending, a female's a little longer because of the shaving of the belly. And then we can release them once they're healed. Back to the colony where they were, as long as we know they have caregivers that are still willing to take care of them. And there's so many people that will still take care of their cats. A lot of them can't afford to get it done, but if we can offer a lower clinic, then they'll be willing to do that because they take care of the cats like they're their own. Oh, and it's socialization. A lot of the kittens, Kara, she socializes all our kittens. Her and I started doing this about a year ago, and we've probably found homes for over 100 kittens already.
Yeah.
So she'll
It was that
socialize.
kitten season last year. It started in March. It didn't end until
Oh, November.
Yeah, so.
I have a couple of questions, and maybe it's a little premature. Can you hear me? What about cost? I mean, do you come up traffic as with the residents? Okay, and then what about cost for a cat? I mean, is there something that you will offer Wheatfield residents? I mean, I'm just trying to get a feel for what the cost is and how we would deal with that.
It runs us about $100 a cat, to spay neuter, rabies, SELD testing, combo testing, and, distemper. So we've worked out an agreement with our vet that we are able to do that as low cost as we possibly can.
Another question, and I think we've talked about this in the past. And John works for the, as well as one of our councilors works for the SPCA, and the SPCA is also very supportive of their efforts because, from my understanding, they really don't have a facility to handle all the feral cats. Is that correct, John?
Correct, yeah. The feral cat population is something we deal with primarily. We deal with mainly, fairly domesticated animals because it's not an easy task. And what they're telling you right now is pretty on board.
I don't know if anybody follows social media, but here in Wheatfield, as well as I know Myra Falls is really overtaken with cats, but even in Wheatfield now, you see it on the social media where feral cats are all over the place. And so if you wouldn't mind, and then you would go out with you would give me the information, something that I could give to residents, put on our counters here, so people who do have feral cats can come to you. And $100 a cat with other animals like I do, that's nothing. Especially to take care of the animals like that.
And I can also say that within our facility, we have built a special room that will house the recovery efforts, for the animals after their spay neuters, so they are kept separate from everybody else, until they recover and then they're placed back with work.
But if you could give me something in writing, I'd love to sit down and meet with you guys again, and we can talk about the rates and the fees. Now, one thing that came up, we do pay the SPCA every year with a contract with them. And it's too late to do anything this year for feral cats, but we are hoping, I think the board members will be supportive of giving you a donation to $91,000 to help you really get started. down, this barn down, 2 or 3 properties from me, and all of a sudden, cats everywhere. And believe it or not, they're beautiful cats, and I was told at the time, don't feed them. Well, they're in the middle of the winter for the freezing, how do you not feed a kitten? You do. And, I mean, I love the cats, and again, I was never a cat person in my life, but now I got cats. But I can see where the problem comes in, and I've been very fortunate, thanks to you guys, the kittens have been adopted. But I have one female, you can catch her, I would really help. Really happy to see that. Look at her, it just turns the other way, so, and if, you know, if you wanna make that.
Are you trapping cats now in the weekend? And if we give you the donation, would the money go towards working here every weekend?
Absolutely.
I'll make the motion.
It would only be for you.
So, Bill just made the motion to donate $1,000 to Paws in the Falls. Can I have a second, please? I'll second. I have a motion and a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So we'll give you, we'll cut a check for $1,000 of this help. And I would say that towards October, if you want to come back and talk to us when it comes to budget time, you want to talk about maybe an agreement like we have with the SPCA, that's the time to do it. And then we can sit down and talk about rates, and maybe a service that you would provide for Wheatfield residents. Okay? I hope that helps. Anything else you guys want to add? John, did you want to say anything or not?
They had it pretty much dead on the nail. I mean, TNVR is really the only solution for this. I know that Niagara SPCA, we don't have the ability to do TNVR. I'm the senior animal cruelty investigator for the county, of those that don't know. I can bring 20 to 30 cats out of a house on one cruelty investigation alone. We don't have the capacity to take on the amount of cats that are in this community. I mean, Wheatfield alone doesn't even have the worst of it, and you're getting overrun with cats. This is an issue facing the entire county, Western New York, the country. You need a facility like Paws in the Falls that can build the foundation, be consistent and reliable to do this over time, and they need the funding, the support. And you won't see it fixed overnight, but you have to be able to do it consistently. If they said, we've been off for 6 months, you're behind year 2 now, and if you don't remain consistent with it, have the funding, the foundation, which they have the space is the big thing. There's no way to combat this. There's not. You'll never slow down the cat population.
John, you were telling me about a van that you found loaded with cats?
Not even a van, and a Jeep Compass, which is, so you don't want an older model Jeep Compass, which is the smaller model SUV, I pulled 22 cats out of it. Barring that was an investigation, I can't release a lot of information, but, and there's cases like this all over the county. We go into houses in Newfane, which is, you know, rural, one thing has a cat issue, 38 cats with FIV, which is contagious. Now every cat in that house had FIV. Now it affects the community, it affects children. It's a nuisance. You get the urine smell in your yards and stuff, and it brings down the quality of life because there's just nobody to address it. Like I said, the SPCA tries at times. We've hosted clinics, but I mean, maybe 3 or 4 last year, and that's at the high level. I can remember us hosting because I'm bringing in 20 to 30 cats. It could be a week, it could be every 2 weeks. The capacity for cruelty, we do cruelty first. It's what the Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, that's our priority, but there's nobody that can consistently do feral cats and is confident and willing to do it. It's a big task, and I know funding is the beginning of it, but going out and doing it, trapping those cats, it could take days or weeks. Once you trap a cat once, good luck trapping it again. It's a big task, and nobody really knows or has concerns until, like yourself, it affects you, and then you see it just overloads, and you can't cause harm to them. You can't. But then again, there's no laws or ordinances that says people with own cats, you could throw them out the door. There's abandonment to a point, but there's nothing saying you can't throw it out your door and it runs free compared to dogs and stuff. There's no laws, there's no ordinances, there's nothing in place for cats.
You know, I hate to say this, John, years ago, we attended some seminars and we were talking about feral cats, and I kind of laughed it off.
Yeah.
Now I'm one that's been affected by feral cats, and I see them all over.
I'm from anywhere from Gasport to City Falls. You can't keep up with the falls. So anywhere from Gasport, Wheatfield, Newfane, Youngstown, Niagara Falls, NT, every county, every jurisdiction I have, every town I go to, I have falls.
There's more cats in the falls than people.
Oh, without a doubt.
There's actually 15,000 more cats than humans. There's actually actually, it's over 15,000 more cats than humans that reside in Niagara Falls.
You're serious?
That's last year's numbers, that's last year's numbers.
And another key thing to think about too, the return aspect, is where do they go? They go back to the same community. A huge thing that we have at the SPCA, which could benefit PAWS, could benefit Wheatfield, this is a farming community, at least used to be. Farm barn cats is something we do. It used to be called the Lone Ranger Program, was a funny name for it. But we have a farm that we use a lot. We'll bring 10 cats at a time. They use it for like nuisance wildlife control, like the rats and mice farms. If you get it out to the farms and stuff, the community with barns and stuff, maybe they have issues with rats and things like that. We release the cats to those areas. They get to go be a barn cat. Those people have food for them, and that's a great alternative instead of having a house where you have 10 cats. We trap 10 and say, okay, we really can't keep them. Well, hey, I talked to this barn. Yeah, we'll take the 10 cats. We love them, and they go to a better home. And that's the solution we have is the barns and the farms and stuff, and seeing if they want to step forward and take some cats, because it's a huge wildlife control for them, and it's a beautiful home for a cat.
And what we're really trying to do with this too, we're hoping if it takes off in Wheatfield, that maybe other townships will start doing the same thing too, because it's everywhere. And, if we're working in one area, and we'll have 10 other areas, 12, 20 other areas that are having the issue, so if we start setting an example and stuff, maybe others will pick up and start doing it too.
I'll tell you what, I'll send you to Cambria. I have a twin brother that's a supervisor out there, and he has cats. Go see him. Tell him I sent you.
Crazy.
All right, folks, listen, if you would, and sometime this week, I'd like to kind of get this program moving for the residents of Greenfield.
Okay.
I mean, I drive down Metro, I see 10 cats, that they think like cars and everything else. If you would give me all the information as far as rates, what you provide, and then we will make sure that we get a check to you guys for $1,000 for a kickoff. And then again in October, and I know I talked to the administrator out at the SBCA, and they support you 100%, maybe not physically, but they can't handle it. So I can see it becoming a problem, maybe we'll work up a contract for the town, we can about that.
Perfect.
Okay, thanks so much, ladies, we greatly appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We can rise to the pledge of allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we pray you grant wisdom to walk our authorities that orders and justice making of health the best of all groups. We be citizens and guide us to better serve the people of our community, restrain those who seek to destroy our government. We ask your divine wisdom to rest upon our leaders, guide them and protect them. Amen.
Okay, for the record, Randy Retzloff is not here tonight. And we have some public input. Let's start with, let's see, this one. Whistling Straits, Deborah, you back. Deborah? Come on down, please.
Hello. My name is Deborah Dudek. Need my glasses.
What we know?
I am here with several of my neighbors, I think they're all in the back, from the Whistling Straits subdivision. We are here tonight looking to get some answers, help, and support in our ongoing efforts to resolve our inability to receive mail delivery in our development. At the June 5th, 2023 Wheatfield Town Board meeting, a motion to accept the completed PIP improvements for pavement, curb, storm sewer, sanitary sewer, and water line for the subdivision was accepted with several conditions. Condition 10 indicated mail cluster boxes are not allowed in the town right away. No building permits will be issued until the mail delivery system is resolved to the satisfaction of the town, and the curb and gutter sections that have been cut to accommodate the cluster boxes are restored to the satisfaction of the town highway department. It appears the curb and gutter sections have been restored, but the state mail delivery system remains unresolved. We have issues we'd like to discuss, but we would like to start with Why were building permits issued when the mail delivery system is still unresolved? I was unable to find any mention of this issue in any of the town board meetings after June 5th of 2023.
Any other questions about that? Would you like
Okay.
to address that first?
Yes, I would.
What happened is I met with the postmaster who was no longer with the St. Laurent Teachers College. And, she was a little bit abrasive, but she said that they will not deliver on the internal parts of that subdivision. So because we had approved the road, we had approved the sewers, we had approved all of the infrastructure, the town was obligated to issue building permits. We had nothing to do with buildings, period, anywhere in town of Wheatfield. That is up to the post office. And just so you know, the town of Wheatfield is not gonna go in a position where we have cluster boxes on town property. Not only that, we have liability, we have maintenance responsibilities, shoveling snow and everything else. And our highway superintendent just had heart surgery here, and that was his position as well as the town board's. So issuing building permits is something we were obligated to because anything that we were related to, infrastructure, was approved and accepted.
But it said in the meeting.
We just finished,
Okay.
just a little further. And so what we did was reach out to the postmaster general, and I have a letter here, we're going to give it to you. This is from Tim Kennedy's office, and you can see this.
Is it a very recent one?
It's January 7th.
We've heard some rumor that there may be something more current, but I believe that Ed probably has, and we probably have a copy of the January 7th. Can you tell me what's in it? But I'm sure we probably have.
What they have done is they have supporting us, and we have reached out to, again, the postmaster here in Sanborn, who is not no longer with us, was not receptive to the town of Wheatfield whatsoever. They have a new postmaster there now, who's seeming more receptive, and he's aware of our plight, and we were trying to get the internal delivery in that subdivision. And he has reached out and told me he has contacted the postmaster, was the regional postmaster.
Okay.
It's in their hands now. And I talked to Kennedy's office, this goes back, I'm gonna say, the beginning of January. And they are still researching the couple things. One is mail delivery on this subdivision and the zip code for the town of Wheatfield.
How long ago has it been since you talked to anyone at the post office?
It's been probably 3 weeks.
Okay, because I was there last week and again today. And my understanding is that there's been through a neighbor who got a phone call from the post office, and then I went over and spoke to, and I believe the gentleman I was speaking to is probably who is now the postmaster over there.
Is it Sean?
It could be, yes. I probably should know that, but I spoke to him today and last week. It appears as though I think we've been denied again. We have not gotten a formal confirmation of that from Senator Tim Kennedy's office. My neighbor Ed has been corresponding with him. He's corresponded with him in the last week, and he said that he had not heard anything yet from the post office, but he was going to follow up on it. But the postmaster indicated to me that there had been a letter received at the post office that appears to be regarding Mr. Kennedy's request that has been denied. Is what we were told last week, but that's a verbal conversation I had at the
Well,
post office.
again, it's verbal, and until we see something writing, I'm not gonna shoot from the hip.
Well, this is, we've been planning to come here for several weeks now, and this is just something new I was following up on
I
last week.
understand. I mean, it would drive me crazy if I had to go and pick up my mail every day at the post office. And again, the town of Wheatfield does not function, we have nothing to do with mail delivery, we never have, we don't want to be involved. And then it comes liability, if this subdivision had been designed for an internal mailbox, where the developer had property dedicated to it, the residents could drive in, but it was never designed that way. That subdivision was designed for mailboxes only.
Now, see, I can tell you though, can I just say for a minute here? I was told before I ever signed a contract, and this is why part of the dating is important to us. You discussed, and it says building permits, it specifically says in your meeting that building permits were not be issued without a satisfactory resolution to the mail delivery. That's in your meeting.
Yes.
That was the beginning of June. The first time I ever met with the developer was the end of June. at the end of June, I was told I was looking at a lot that was a corner lot initially. And I was told if I wanted that lot, I ultimately didn't buy that lot, but I was told if I did, I needed to sign a waiver for a cluster box to be put on that right of way, because there had been disagreements between the town and the post office with the mail delivery. I was told by Ryan Holmes, after June 5th, after you had already ordered the curb cutouts to be replaced, that I would either still be getting a post office or a cluster box or a mailbox, one or the other. Not neither, but one or the other, and that was after your meeting. So part of the dating is important to us as well, as to what happened after that, because it was specifically in here. It appears as though Ryan Holmes knew that you had refused it and refused the post office.
I want to say this to you, and I understand where you're coming from, and I do feel for you, but the town of Wheatfield is not involved with mail pickup. We were obligated to issue the building permits because all of our infrastructure, the roads, the sewers, and water were approved. So we directed the building department to issue building permits. We're hoping to hear back from Kennedy, and again, all this is hearsay. And in fact, I will reach out tomorrow to see if somebody has some answers, which I have not received anything yet. We have sent letters out. Our attorney is not here tonight, but he has been contacted with the postmaster, and I'm sorry he's not here. We have done all that we can. And I'm sorry to say that, and all I can say is we have tried, and again, if you want to copy this letter, I have two here, you can take one with you and look it over. And I will reach out to Kennedy's office tomorrow to see if I hear something. If you'd like to call me, give me a call, I'll tell you what I know. That's the best we can do.
Can you tell me what is happening with the new development that's going to be, what their mail situation is?
No, because Northtown, a lot of the subdivisions, they deliver, mailboxes, no problem. It's Sanborn, we're the only ones.
Well, we're being told it's the Washington that dictates that no new developments can have
That's absolutely
individual.
wrong. We have a subdivision on Shawnee Road, mailbox delivery, Northtown one. Niagara Falls, same thing. no
We've
problem.
gotten like several letters from from Washington that it has indicated that is their rule now.
Again, a lack of communication, and that subdivision is going to have mail delivery at each individual lot. And it's always been a problem with Sanborn, and I don't know what it is, and again, the previous postmaster and I didn't get along well. He was very abrasive, didn't like a word I had to say. The new fellow that I did speak with seemed to be more receptive. I asked him what was going on, and he told me it was forwarded to the regional postmaster, and then to the higher ups, and then Kennedy, and Kennedy like copy this letter what it was. Other than that, there was nothing else we could do. So hopefully we'll get a good outcome, and if I will call Kennedy's office tomorrow, if you want to give me a call, give me your name and your phone number.
Yes, please. So your position is it doesn't matter, no matter what, if the post office position is that PO boxes or that individual mailboxes will all
I
allow.
didn't say that we didn't care, we didn't, we do care, but we have no leverage for the postman. We have nothing.
I understand that, but my point is that, the post office, from everything we have, and I can show you multiple letters from Washington that state that they will no longer allow individual
And
mailboxes.
that's all the postman. How do we feel? Has no authority, no control over the post office, none.
But if the post office is denying it for everyone, that means every future development cannot, they'll only deliver to cluster
We have
boxes.
developments going in now where we're gonna have postal delivery and mailboxes. That's all I can tell you. It's the same board thing.
You have other ones where they're going to get mailboxes.
We just confirmed the subdivision on Charlie Road is gonna have mailboxes.
Is there something that you can give me for that?
Tim, is there anything?
I mean, it's something I can send back to the people in Washington who are saying to me that we can't have them. Why are they being allowed and we're not?
If you'd like after the meeting, Tim can give you the name of that subdivision, and maybe the developer, you can contact them, but again, the town of Wheatfield is not gonna be involved with mail delivery, mail pickup, or any liability or responsibility for maintaining those stations. We're just not gonna do it. We can't.
Okay. Well, if you could contact me for any information that you got, that would be great.
And if you'd like to call me tomorrow, or give me your phone number, and I will call you, so we can hear from Kennedy's office. But I can tell you that if I call them tomorrow, I probably won't hear back from them for 3 days.
That's fine. I'll just give you my information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's John Russo for the commentaries. I'm talking tonight just about, I know that we're gonna meet, first of March, I think it is, for the, smell, the sulfur smell. But I'm talking about the flooding still. The snowpack, we've taken some pictures of, the farmland where the water comes from. And the snowpack is pretty high. And if we do run into that same perfect storm, as you call it, next year, we're gonna be in the same boat. So, just looking for any updates. I know they had talked about at that other meeting, they talked about that the ground was frozen, they would get back there and clean the pond out. I don't know if that's been done. So, just some updates and what preventive measures are we gonna move forward?
Gentlemen, ask Tim if you want to give us an update. Well, as far as the drainage study goes, we're still working on that. As far as things that we do, still make sure that drainage structures is not like they're frozen or something. That's something that you need to do to make sure there's a lot. I don't know about maintenance to the plant.
We were gonna go back and clean out, there's 2 ponds there, and then the opposite pipe, we were gonna clean out the brush in front of it, but because of that snow and that, we haven't got a chance to get back in there. But we are.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Pardon?
I can't hear a word you're saying.
I said, we've already talked about going back in and reshaping the bank on the one pond, and then on the discharge pipe going out, we were gonna take all the brush out and make it all so the water can go out. And, we haven't had a chance to go out and do that yet, because we've been out plowing basically almost every day. But as soon as we get a chance, that is, Paul has that right on our list too.
And again, I appreciate that with the pond, but the pond has probably not been touched in 10 years, 12 years, whatever, and we still have the flooding. Again, I've lived there 3.5 years now, I've seen 4 floods.
I think we know that pond is undersized.
Again, there happens to be a lot right in front of that lot that's owned by a developer that could be, maybe that lot, or that pond is large, I don't know. I'm just saying, you know.
I think it's more than that.
I agree, but everybody that I have talked to, every single person that is smarter than I am when it comes to water and moving that water, is we need to move the water to the dry side, which would be the south side of Lockport Road. And, correct, yes. And the most cheapest way to do that would not be to run it through the subdivision, but to run it right from the farmland, right across. And then you don't have the issue with the person across the street from our subdivision that does not want, you know, that creates headaches for you too. It would go right in there, the water would split between both sides of the road and not end up in Mary's basement.
Tim, would you do me a favor, I mean, we should, with spring approaching, we should really start looking at that, try and get something, some resolve, some plan, that we can really put that over. Because I don't wanna go through another flooding over negotiation.
And I don't believe that you folks are responsible for that culvert underneath Lockport Road. I believe that's a county project. If I'm wrong, please, somebody tell me, because we do not get any, you know, we've got a lot of nice letters saying that they're all for us and they're gonna fix it, they're gonna get involved, but they haven't done nothing. Nothing. And, you know, they can't even clean the ditch for you.
They finally did it.
I think you did, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I do.
And John, just so you know,
Yeah.
one of the other things that came up, I talked to Scott last weekend,
Uh-huh.
and you remember one day last week, we had, or 2 weeks ago, that fog, over before.
Yeah. Right.
They're under the flood well there.
All the way to the top.
That was the bottom of the foundation.
Okay. So it was still not hurt that homeowner that.
No, the sulfur main was down like 140 feet. I think it was 100 feet.
It's 100, I think it's 140 is the number.
What they would do is, and from what I understand, they're gonna fill that well into above the sulfur main.
Okay.
And this way, the water in the basement would still be below drain into what's left of that well.
Okay.
That was as of last weekend.
And doing that is gonna alleviate the smell, is that going to add more water?
It's the same water we've always had. I mean, it's
Got it.
gonna be the same spring water.
Right.
It's just will eliminate, so that was as of last Saturday or Sunday when I talked to Scott.
Okay.
Okay, so just to give you an update, that was.
Are you, we're still gonna meet on the third?
No, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, that was the plan as of last week.
Okay.
Well into, I forget the line, but below the foundation, so instead of the water draining in the basement, it'll drain into the hole, and the sump pumps won't be as active. That's all.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Moving on to this, January 27th, 2025, may I have a motion, please? And the second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Minutes are approved. Approval of bill payments, February 16th, 2025. Voucher number 20242-497 through 2024503 and 2025001. And the total amount is $1,657,966.10. Can I have a motion, please? So moved. Second. And a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, those are paid. Highway departments. Jamie?
Nothing new to report.
Okay. Jamie, what's the status on the road by Norwood? Anything yet?
We have to wait until the dozer comes back. It's out being repaired. Our dozer's out being repaired right now. So when that gets back, and then once we get a break in the snow.
Yesterday, from one of the residents, was, how soon, and I said, well, I would check.
Yeah, well, as soon as we get it back and we don't have as much snow, we'll be over there.
Okay, thank you. Water sewer, Jimmy. Come on.
Couple of announcements. We've had a few hydrants that have been replaced that were hit by cars.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Replaced a couple hydrants that have been hit by cars in accidents, so we've been dealing with that. A few other water leaks. Last week we had a leak over there in a beige by the new Aldi's that we fixed. Been cold. The guys have been busy trying to keep up with everything, so. Yeah, we've been dealing every day with all kinds of issues. The I&I repairs for 2024 have been done. I believe we had 4 or 5 manholes that were sealed up for infiltration for that, and still dealing with the pump station, that Clutson pump station, between the generator and the other shredder down below. We've been getting that hopefully back up and running next week.
Did they order the new generator?
He's got a quote. I believe it's in order now, and we're also working on getting in the meantime, until that comes in, we are having Brady Electric and RVRN is going to wire in a plug so we can plug in one of our generators that are on wheels. We'll be able to plug that in the meantime until the new one gets fully replaced. So, yeah, that's.
Yeah, I thought for some reason that we were doing an emergency.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just in case anybody's interested, we had a generator on the Pleasant Drive area, and it's imperative that that's always operational. And the motor blew up. It only had 200 some hours on it, and we could not replace the motor, so we had to buy a whole new generator. $20-some thousand. 29,000. Anything else?
Unfortunately, no, we're just trying to keep everything afloat, and
We try and cut back on water lines.
wish I could say, yeah.
It was amazing what that frost blew.
Yeah, this time of the year, it's just the frost line, everything's kind
It's
of.
all over Iron Valley, everybody's having problems.
Yeah, but we're dealing with it.
Hey, Tim,
Good job.
when you have a car hit a fire hydrant, it seems like you got quite a few of them. Are we able to get the insurance money back from those vehicles that you?
Oh, yeah, yes, it goes through the police report.
Okay.
Mark reaches out to the insurance company, everything gets filed. It takes a little bit of time, but we do get reimbursed, everything gets documented, down to the labor and the materials used to repair it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. And please let the guys know that we really appreciate all their efforts out there all night long. For me, I appreciate it.
We'll do, I'll relay, yep.
Okay, Mike Rinaldi's off sick, Mike Black.
Nothing tonight now.
Okay, Mike, thank you. Kelly. Our assessor.
So, Don, I know you remember we mailed out those postcards to everybody, and it's in state law that we have to give another notification of seniors with limited income may be eligible for the aging exemption. We sent out over 6,100 postcards. Melanie and I have been answering calls like all day, all night. I came in yesterday, I had 20 voicemails and my voicemail box was full. So Melanie tried calling all them people back today. So since Friday, we have had 120 calls since Friday afternoon when we started getting these postcards. So we're constantly doing that right now. March 1st is approaching. This is the last meeting before March 1st. So anybody that has to get the renewals into us, or anybody turning 65 in the year of 2025, they need to bring in their application for the enhanced star.
What was the intent
On the enhanced star, 107,300 or 107,200, something like that that's the enhanced, which you have to be 65, live in your primary residence. And if you live in your house prior to 2015, you can apply for that with me. Otherwise, you have to apply for the credit online with the taxation finance website.
Anything else, Scott?
Now, did you guys all get your postcards?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I got mine, but I didn't call you.
I don't want you to call me. You know all the
But I can
information.
do you a favor, if your mailbox is full, I can increase the size
No,
of your.
please don't. No, I'm good.
I'm gonna increase it anyway.
No, I'm good, Larry.
Constables, anything to that?
The only thing, Trevor Went, one of our newer constables, just graduated from the instructor development course, so he'll be certified to be able to teach law enforcement in the local area. It's the only thing we have.
John, let me ask you a question, and again, I asked about our constable vehicles, they're all set to go?
Yeah, all three vehicles, we're still working on getting the modems, so the in-car Wi-Fi system set up on the Charger, and then the Explorers, we get new graphics to match the two Chargers we have, you know, they're older, they're peeling a little bit on the Explorer, so we're working with FM for all that. And besides that, yeah, everything running fine, we have some new phones, players, so it's doing great.
So they're all operational?
Yeah, they're working
What
great.
happened to the Crown Vic, is that gone?
I have called the auction place 3 times. I've called and left voicemails with, I forgot the guy's name, he's one of the supervisors and the office. I don't get any calls back.
Maybe we can make a plan around that.
It's a nice car, I like it, but yeah, it's a little tired, so I've called left multiple voicemails with the office.
We could probably sell them locally to somebody left, it's not worth it.
No, they never are when they're that old and has a
We
mechanic.
could do that too. No, John, if you think about it, bring that up, and maybe we could just do a local sale.
Yeah, I'll talk with Dan, I mean, there's something that they've been trying to figure out what to do with just sitting there.
But we could do that, we advertise and,
Yeah.
the process on them locally, because what's the car worth?
$1,000 at the highest.
Yeah.
And that's what the Crown Vics are, especially in that condition. It was tired, you gotta use it for a long time here, so.
So if you think about mention that to Dan, we'll do
Yeah.
a local auction, and if somebody wants it for whatever, it'd be nice to get it out of the parking lot.
Would be.
Okay,
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Well, engineers, no report. There's no report, but we just have one item on our agenda. It's just our, we have, information in the packet for the board to make a secret determination and. So, if there's any questions on that. Thank you.
It's for the code revision, and it's presented to the town board. So therefore, it resolves as follows. The Wheatfield Town Board, in accordance with the speaker, has determined that the proposed 2024 amendments to the code of the town of Wheatfield will not adversely affect the natural resources of the state and/or the health, safety, and welfare of the public, and are consistent with social and economic considerations, and therefore issues the attached seeker negative declaration in accordance with section 617.7 of the seeker's regulations, and be it further resolved that the supervisor is authorized to sign the full environmental acceptance form, parts 1, 2, and 3, which will act as the negative declaration, and that the required notification be completed.
I'll make that motion.
Second. And a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried.
And the next motion is the 2024 code revision, whereas the code of the town of Wheatfield contains and specifies local laws and ordinances of the town of Wheatfield, and whereas the town of Wheatfield has identified various sections of the code that need to be updated, clarified, or modernized, and whereas the town formed a committee to work with its planning consultant, and they have drafted various revisions of the code of the town of Wheatfield, and the draft of the 2024 code revision were presented to the town board, and whereas pursuant to municipal home rule, the town board is proposing to enact the local law as follows. Be it enacted by the town board of the town of Wheatfield, New York, that Wheatfield Town Board amends Town Code Chapter 300 zoning, Chapter 169 subdivision, Chapter 146 sewer, as illustrated in the attached copy, and whereas the town also refers to these 2024 code amendments to the Niagara County Planning Board and received their approval, and whereas the Wheatfield Town Board held a public hearing on these proposed 2024 code amendments, and whereas the town board in accordance with Part 617 of the implementing regulations pertaining to Article 8, State Environmental Quality Review Act of the Environmental Conservation Law, has issued a seeker negative declaration. Now therefore be resolved that the Wheatfield Town Board amends the code of the town of Wheatfield, Chapter 200 zoning, Chapter 169 subdivision, Chapter 146 sewer, to provide for the revisions of the town code as referenced above and attached.
Before we go to a motion, just so everybody knows that primarily in John and Rich, you were aware that we made some major adjustments, increased lot sizes, potential retention areas, to hopefully be a little bit more progressive when it comes to new development, that we increase lot sizes, to better handle water drainage and runoff issues. Plus, we increase building height and growth. I think it's been available for weeks for review. So I'll make the motion. Second. Second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. That's it. Thank you.
The next motion is from the town board, resolved to reappoint Justin Kidner to a 5-year term to the Board of Assessment Review with the term to expire September 30th, 2029.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
From the Water and Sewer Department, resolved to approve the request from Mark Clark, Water Sewer Superintendent, to move Chris Carter up to the position of Water, Wastewater Operation and Maintenance Mechanic effective February 11th, 2025. This will be a provisional position until it goes through the health program.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
From the town board, resolved to convert the scheduled Wheatfield Town Board meeting of March 17th, 2025 to solely a bill-based session.
So moved.
Second.
And a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
From the town board, resolved to approve renewal of Civic Plus Virtual Webmaster contract for 1 year from December 30th, 24 to December 29th of 25 in the amount of $4,355.69, which includes a $2,000 submitting a community development block grant, CDBG application to the New York State Office of Community Renewal for grants to support the construction of a new facility for Swover Construction at 6461 Walmer Road in the town, and whereas the town is required to hold a public hearing to provide information to the public and consider citizens' comments regarding the community needs and plan proposal prior to submitting an application for funding. Now therefore be resolved that the town board hereby calls for a public hearing whereas all interested parties shall be heard regarding the CDBG program, the town's community development, economic development program, and proposed funding application. Such public hearing to be held at Wheatfield Town Hall, 2800 Church Road, at 6:45 on the 3rd of March.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion and a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried.
And then note the added motion from the Water and Sewer Department, resolved to authorize the request of Mark Clark, Superintendent of the Water and Sewer Department, for the emergency purchase of a new generator, which includes delivery in the amount of $24,750 and removal of the old unit and installation of the new unit of $4,500 for a total of $29,250 from RV Urine Equipment. This is required for the Pleasant Road pump station and is needed for immediate use to protect the health, safety, and welfare of property and residents. Any emergency purchase will meet the requirement of the city as the equipment is needed by the town immediately.
So moved.
Second. And a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Just so you guys know, and I think you're aware of this, we talked with Niagara County. And every year we get $25,000 from Niagara County for I&I. You guys aware of that? So we can use that money to help the town, to help pay for the general, so really it's only be $5,000. So the money we get from the county, so anyway, so that'll be a good thing, at least we'll have that money from the county. Yeah. For sure, yeah. All right, that's it? All right, thank you. Board members. Larry Elder. Yeah, nothing. Bill Doucette.
I don't have anything this evening. Some correspondence from Burpo's Fire Hall, they'd like to add Austin Guthrie to their active membership, and I'll make that motion.
Second. Motion and a second, all in favor, signify.
Yeah.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, Kurt, did I ask you?
Not yet, just
Okay.
one quick update.
Sure.
So Wheatfield Enhancement Volunteer has a meeting tomorrow night, 6:30 at the community center. And, we have a new volunteer that came forward, so we're excited to talk with her. She saw some of the action going on in Niagara Falls Boulevard, we have Walls in Wheatfield, particularly the one right now, that we have at Nash that has a new sign, and she's interested in helping out with that. So we're hoping that, we can get her interested and we get a little bit more help.
By the way, Kurt, could you just give us, because we've had a few calls about what they're doing on the news, the two new walls, can you give us just a little brief background as to what's going to be done?
Yeah, so there's 3 walls in Wheatfield now, 2 that went up with intersection improvement that we did at River Resort just recently that finished. The one that is done is at the corner of Nash, and it has the Wheatfield sign, Farming is our heritage. There's 2 more right now that are blank, there's nothing on them, but the one that's right here in front of St. John's Church at Ward, it's gonna have it's really cool, fixture of a farmer on a tractor, and you're gonna see a familiar wheat symbol that's seen currently at the corner of Nash. So that's coming this spring, and then at the corner of Whitmer, what we're gonna do is have a little homage, if you will, to the airport and the history of aviation that Wheatfield has played. The
meeting is March 3rd, 2025, at 7 o'clock. And I need a motion to adjourn. And all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you for coming, folks. Appreciate
Gotta get to that.